Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on the Royal, all about Willie Aikens, famous baseball player who fell from grace and then brought himself back up. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 8. Speaking of which, I will be doing a live stream today at 2 p.m. Saturday. I can't do it tomorrow because I got a show. I will be at the Flemington Summer Book Fest tomorrow on Sunday. So today's going to be the live stream. I couldn't figure out how to schedule it anymore. I'm actually getting worse at the technology. Anyhow, Willie Aikens was a baseball player, apparently. I don't know. Is that the name of the actor or the character or the subject? Anyhow, he was a member of the Kansas City Royals, and he got involved in some drugs when he was at the top. He got arrested and went to jail. And then he got out of jail and had to put his life back together. So he does. It's the story of how he finally gets his life back together. So first he ends up working on a road crew. Then his wife and daughter come back into the picture. And his daughter has trouble accepting him back because he was gone for most of her life. And then he says, that's it, I'm going to get back into baseball. So he tries to get back into it. And then George Brett, this guy plays George Brett, helps him, and the team is like, I don't know, but, it's like a redemption thing. And then I guess he gets a gig coaching some local team. I guess these are high schoolers. Maybe it's a minor league team. Anyhow, and he pulls it together. So it's called The Royal. I like these movies in that they're inspiring. It's nice to see a guy get his life back together. Directed by Marcel Sarmiento. Based on the book Willie Mays Aikens. Willie Mays Aikens. Safe at Home by Gregory W. Jordan and screenplay by Gregory W. Jordan. So that's a good sign, I think. Because if the book was good and he's writing a screenplay, it's not that hard to write a screenplay. For writers, for a guy who wrote a novel, certainly there's a bit of an adjustment, but I think all the details will be there. He obviously did all the research, and so I think this will be a good story. This will be an inspiring story about a guy who comes back from the brink and pulls it all together. Here he is. He's got religion. He's got a little cross there, and it's nice. It's a nice, inspiring sports movie, right? Teaches you a lesson. Positive things happen at the end. I like redemption character arcs in general. So first act, he's a famous baseball player. He's doing drugs. He goes to jail. I think it's after he got out. After he got out of baseball, or maybe right towards the end of his career. So he goes to prison. Does time, I don't know how long, say a few years, and gets out. His life is a mess. He's got to pull it back together. He ends up on a road crew. Going from Major League Baseball to a road crew, it's kind of a big step down. Anyhow, he somehow manages to get his wife and daughter to come back, that's a pretty big move in and of itself. That's probably the second act, right? The first act is his downfall, and then getting out of prison, and then trying to start his life over again. He's at the lowest ebb. Then his wife and daughter come back. His daughter has a lot of anger, obviously, towards him because he left and didn't pay attention. So now he's trying to make amends. Decides he's going to get back into baseball, and then it's about most of the second act is about him trying to get back into baseball. What he needs to do. He goes to George Brett to get help. By this time, I think he's out of baseball too, but obviously Brett was he was really big. So Brett helps him, and he gets some kind of gig coaching. I'm not sure what. And he pulls his life back together. Wins back his daughter. The end. I mean, even though I know I just complained about a previous movie, how they just gave away the whole story. The thing about true stories is you already know the ending. Okay? We already know this guy pulls it together at the end. Because you could just go on Wikipedia and find out in 10 seconds. You know? And they wouldn't be making this movie if he died in a ditch. So he obviously pulls his life back together, and then, you know, he ended the movie, get the nice little scroll, Willie Aikens came back to do blah, 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 blah. You know, it's kind of nice to see. I mean, I'm sure it's nice for sports fans to get some details. It's nice for people who like these kinds of stories like me. Even though I don't like sports. I don't know. I mean, I couldn't tell the difference between Willie Aikens and an actor, or, I mean, that's the guy's real name. So, I didn't know. I don't know sports. I knew George Brett, though. I knew George Brett because that was back in the Phillies era where I kind of watched it just for like 10 minutes. So I would watch this. Now, I wouldn't go to the theaters for it simply because that would be going, you know, it is a sports movie, and I'm not super into that. But if it was on TV or it was in Netflix or something, maybe I'd watch it. Maybe I'd watch it just to get it's a feel-good movie. People like that, I think. People like that. Anybody who likes baseball is going to like it. You know, it's obviously a period piece, takes place in the past. I don't think you have to worry about being too woke. It seems very positive in terms of family and whatnot. You know, I think this would be worth your time. I mean, if you have any connection to the world of sports and like that, you know, and I got some stuff to report about baseball now that's not so great on the Hollywoke Hot Take Live at 2 p.m. So tune in for that. All right, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Don't forget, I'll have some videos on Odysee, Bitchute, and what's the other one? Rumble. My brain today. Rumble. And that'll be later, though. I got to do the live stream first. So, and check me out at the Flemington Summer Book Fest. I know, too many plugs. We'll see you